is Grace, and I'm with the Attitudinal Healing Connection and their ArtEsteem program, and today we are going to learn how to make a stencil. So some of the parts that you're going to need for today are cardboard. You can use cardboard from a package, or I'm going to use cardboard from a box of pasta. You could also do it from a cereal box. I like the thinner cardboard because it's easier to cut, but you could also use the thicker cardboard from a package. You're also going to need a pencil with an eraser that is sharpened. You don't need a Sharpie marker, but I'm going to use a Sharpie marker so you can see what I'm drawing better. You're also going to need paper to put your stencil on. You can use lined paper, graph paper. I prefer blank paper, but it's up to you. You are also going to need a pair of scissors, and then if you have an exacto knife and it's safe to use, you can use that as well. Scissors work just fine, and I'll show you how to use those. And then you need either a marker or a highlighter, or you could use color pencils or crayons, and we're going to use these to fill our stencil in. So you can choose either one of those. So I'm going to draw my ice cream cone on blank paper, and I'm doing this so that you can see what I'm drawing. And then I'm going to transfer it onto the cardboard that I'm going to use, and then I'll cut it out. But you don't need to do this step. You're just going to draw it directly onto your cardboard. So we're going to make an ice cream cone. When you're doing your ice cream, we're going to start by making a fold, and this just kind of helps you figure out where you're going to put everything. And then I'll open it back up, and then you can see I have this crease here. This is where I'm going to put the center of my cone. So I'm going to start my cone about right here and then end probably right there. So it's like maybe half the size of a brand new pencil. And I'm going to draw a line so I understand where that mark is. Now I'm drawing everything in pencil because I'm doing a sketch. And then I can go over with a Sharpie or another marker and do a hard outline. But I want to start with a sketch in case I make any mistakes. So I have my triangle for my cone, and now I'm going to draw the ice cream, and I'm going to do 2 scoops. So for the scoop, I'm going to start with a circle, and then I'm going to put another circle on top for 2 scoops. And then I'm actually going to put a smaller circle on the very top for the cherry. All right, and now I'm going to add more detail so it looks more like an ice cream cone. So I'm going to, instead of this straight line, I'm going to draw a curved line like that. Okay, and then I'm going to add a little bit of an edge to my ice cream so it looks less just like a sphere. And then for my cherry, I'm essentially going to just draw a heart. So now this is a really important part and a tricky part to making a stencil. When you make a stencil, see I have 4 different shapes. I have the cone, I have the first scoop, the second scoop, and then I have my cherry. So the important thing about a stencil is that I have to make sure that there is space in between all of these different shapes. And I'm going to show you what I mean in a second. So right now there's already this space right here in between the cone, where the cone edge is, and then this scalloped line on the bottom of my ice cream cone. But I also need to make sure there's a space here in between this scoop and this scoop, and a space here in between the top of this scoop and the bottom of my cherry. And then I'm going to follow this curved or scalloped line, but make sure that I don't ever touch it. So I'm going to kind of, as if they were repelling each other, I'm going to make a space in between these 2 lines. So do you see how this line follows this line right here, and how there's a space in between the 2? That's what you want. Now I'm going to do the same thing over here. So I'm going to kind of finish this outline. And then I'm going to just follow this shape right here, which is kind of like a V. And then finish the rest of that outline. So still looks like 2 scoops of ice cream and a cherry, but my forms don't touch in between. And then I'll do things like I'm gonna add a stem for my cherry, and then I'm actually gonna add like a little drip of ice cream right there. Okay, and then on your box, when you start putting your image onto your cardboard box, you want to use, after you've sketched it out with your pencil and you like the way it looks, you want to use a marker to go over the whole outline. That way when you're cutting, you know exactly where you're cutting. Trace my ice cream cone onto my cardboard, and I'm just finishing my outline onto the cardboard with a marker. Now I'm going to cut out my stencil. So how you can do this is I'm going to cut in, I can cut in from anywhere, from any side, and I'm going to go straight to that purple line. And then I'm going to cut out my shape. And I'm going to try and cut it out in one go. Now, I'm making sure that I don't cross this line. I'm making sure that I don't accidentally cut all the way to this group right there. And then I'm going to cut along this purple line. And as you can see, I have all of these pieces of cardboard sticking up. So what I want to do is tape it down. So now you should have your paper ready to go. I'm going to use markers when I fill my stencil. So I'm gonna start with a cherry, and I'm pressing down all of the cardboard that's around my cherry, and then I'm going to just fill it in with my medium, which is marker, and I'm just going right along the edges. It's okay if you get outside, it doesn't matter because it's gonna still be the right shape on the paper. We would love to see the stencils that you make, so please tag us on Facebook or Instagram, and for more online lessons you can visit us at ahc-oakland.org.